I don't own a gun. I'm against guns, to be honest. When I was a kid, my parents had a gun. My parents said we had to have a gun. Gotta have a gun to protect the 5 children. Gotta have a gun to protect our 5 children. Of course, they eventually got rid of it to protect their 4 children.
I'm friends with Elon Musk, which is the intellectual equivalent of a boy and his dog. That guy's so much smarter than me. You know when you're around your dog's like, you're different, tell me what to do. That's me. I'm like, when they land, you'll tell them I'm cool?
The next day, it's evening, and she comes up to me again. May I have another gummy tonight? I go, you had one yesterday, and you didn't feel anything. She goes, maybe I should take 2. Maybe you should. I give her 2, we hang out, and again, I ask her, how do you feel? She goes, I feel nothing. I'm like, really? She goes, should I take 2 more? I said, hey, Pablo, you might want to keep it in first for a minute. She goes, you don't think so? I go, actually, I do think so. Here you go. Here's 2 more. I give it to her. She eats them, and then she says, I'm going to bed. I go, all right. She goes to her room. I go to the guest room. A few minutes later, I receive a series of text messages that I have since memorized.
We try not to talk about politics, my MAGA friends and I, out of mutual respect. Right? Inevitably, it comes up. Some stuff I'm wrong about, some stuff I write about, but sometimes like the messaging is so convoluted, like I can't get to what their core issue actually is. Like sometimes they're like, Ronnie, China caused COVID, but COVID isn't real. So is it fine then? Does it mean it's fine? I don't know how to feel about it now. Because 1 minus 1 is 0. I don't know what to tell you.
The gay community started accusing African-American community of being homophobic for not supporting him. What they didn't understand is that we were supporting him with our silence because we understood that this nigga was clearly lying. Black people never feel sorry for the police, but this time we even felt sorry for the police. Can you imagine if you was a police veteran taking this kid's police report? Okay, Mr. Smollett, please tell me what happened. All right, 2 a.m. You left the house at 2 a.m. It's minus 16 degrees. And you were walking. You were walking. All right. And where were you going? Subway. Sandwiches? That's when the men approached you? Did you see them? Do you have any? Okay, what do they have on? MAGA hats. MAGA hats on in Chicago. Excuse me 1 second, Mr. Smollett. Frank, come here for a second. Find out where Kanye West was last night.
When I was in high school, my high school employed a blind janitor. 100% totally blind. And all the other kids would joke around that he went blind from masturbating too much. And at the time, I believed that. I was just a kid. I didn't know any better. It wasn't until I got older, wiser, I realized that's just an old wives' tale they used to use to try to explain why he was always masturbating.
The funniest way for me to die is if I die from COVID. Don't think I didn't think it. When I got COVID, the first thought I had was like, oh my God, you better not die. I talk so much shit. I talked so much shit. If I died from COVID, the memes would never end.
I went to buy a coffee just a few weeks ago from a coffee place. Just so there's no confusion, I didn't go to a shoe store. I went to a coffee place. I go up to the lady behind the counter and I go, can I have a coffee? And she goes, well, we have a special promotion. Today, for $2, you can get this drink, and it has vanilla, and there's whipped cream, and there's sprinkles on it. And I was like, that's cool. I don't want that. May I have a coffee? And she goes, it's the last day. And I was like, oh, I think I understand the full scope of the promotion. May I have a coffee? And she's like, you're a fucking loser. Here's the thing. This woman was enormous, okay? She was cute. She looked like 4 people melted into one. So I was like, you know what? You're super fat. You know when shit tastes good. Hook that shit up. I want to try it, right?
I love being in America. I do. I love being here. I have my options. Came here. I love being in America because this is the country that puts show business above everything. And I am in the business of show business. So naturally, I'm going to come here and do it. I do this in America, money just comes into... Fuck the president. It's too old. Fuck this president. The money comes in. Money just comes in. Like printing money. I do this in Malaysia. same words, same clothing, same haircut, facing the same direction. In Malaysia, jail. Like the arbitrage value is out of control. The same product in different locations. Obviously, I'm going to do this here. Why the fuck would I do this anywhere else? It's the best.
And as soon as I open my car door, I hear a voice go, David Chappelle. I didn't even have to look. I knew it was her. And I looked back, and sure enough, there she was, that face. To be honest with you, she probably wasn't even that old. She's probably around my age. But she was a white woman. This bitch looked terrible. I was nice. I said, hello, miss. And she didn't say anything back. All she said was, I watch your comedy. I said, uh-oh. And then she says, it's true. She goes, sounds to me like you hate women. I said, well, you know what, miss? It's art. And you're free to interpret this art however you'd like. But I can tell you, as the maker of this art, that I don't believe that I feel that way. And she said, well, I think. And I said, shut up, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Before I kill you and put you in the trunk. Ain't nobody around here. I'm just kidding. I didn't say that.
I was on a first date with a guy. I realized we both had 3 younger siblings. I said, oh my God, let's text our sibling group chats right now. Ask them what our biggest flaw is. I'm so fun on a first date. I can't believe I'm alone. He texts his brothers, hey guys, what's my biggest flaw? And they write back, works too hard, cares too much. One of them wrote back dyslexic, which I thought was pretty funny. He couldn't read it, but I could. I text my siblings, hey guys, what's my biggest flaw? And my brother writes back immediately, probably that you expect everyone to hurt you, so you just leave before they can. I was like, dude, I'm on a date right now. He's like, oh, sorry, it works too hard. I thought this was a secure line.
Hey, I learned a lot from my parents, especially my dad. Like, I'll never forget the first time I ever got a bad report card in school. First time I got a bad report card in school, I brought it home, I gave it to my dad, and my dad beat me. Beat the hell out of me. But I learned something. Because the next time I got a bad report card in school, I brought it home, and I gave it to my mom. Let her take the hit.
You know, it's just good to see everybody having a good time. The country's almost back to normal before World War III. COVID was just so strange. We lost a lot of people during COVID, and most of them are still alive. Yeah, right? Right? Yeah, there's a lot of people that I don't fuck with anymore. Before COVID, I would have told you that vaccines are the most important invention in human history. After COVID, I'm like, I don't think we went to the moon. I think Michelle Obama's got a dick. I think Pizzagate is real. I think there's direct energy weapons in Antarctica. I'm just kidding. I don't think Michelle Obama's got a dick, but I believe all that other shit. I don't know what it's like to be a minority Asian, because I come from Asia. We're all Asian over there, all right? I don't know what it's like to be like a minority. I encountered Asian stereotypes for the first time when I moved to America. Never encountered Asian stereotypes before. All these Asian stereotypes, like Asian people are good at math. I didn't know that. In Asia, we're all good at math. I didn't know that was a skill set. I didn't know square rooting 7 was difficult. I just did it. Just did it again in my head. For fun.
The kid, while we was beating on him, reached in his waistband, pulled out a .22 caliber pistol. It was mayhem. Everybody started screaming, oh my God, he's got a gun. He's got a gun. And then I got scared. I was in the back, but I was scared. Because I knew that everybody that was with me was armed. Yes, if they had shot and killed this kid on stage at the Hollywood Bowl, like I paid to do, Travis. But Travis G'd up. Travis wrestled the gun out of the kid's hand, and then he took it like this and tried to chamber the round, and he couldn't. So he pulled the trigger, and it wasn't a gun. A knife blade popped out of the front. I guess this kid was going to stab me. Some scary shit. So the next night, even though I didn't have a show, I said, I got to get right back on stage. And I went and did a show, and someone in the audience screamed out, Dave, what happened with the attack? And I didn't know there was journalists in the room. All I said was that this nigga had a knife that I identified as a gun. I got 6 more weeks of bad press for that joke. I didn't even do nothing to this thing. That's not right. That was not right.
But here's my problem with the emergency room. When you are having an anxiety or panic attack, it is your only option, which is why I think they need to open a second option right next door called the anxiety room, all right? So you have the ER and the AR. And the ER is where you go when you've been shot, stabbed, you are actively bleeding. That's where you go, you fill out all that complicated paperwork, because that seems like the time to do it. And then the AR is where you go when you're like, I don't know where the bad is, but it's in me somewhere. It's either cancer or the devil, but I have to get it out. And that is just one fill-in-the-blank form that says, I know that it is probably fine, but... my bones feel itchy. I don't know!
Man, my parents were strict. Mom and Dad were strict. My mom and dad once made me smoke an entire pack of cigarettes. An entire pack of cigarettes in one sitting. Just to teach me an important lesson about brand loyalty.
I don't know what happened. I think it's China. I'm only half kidding. I think they got us with TikTok. I really do. I think they're just really clever. They've been around for 4,000 years. I mean, America's the shit, but we're real young. We've only been around 250 years. Who knows if we're gonna make it? China's been here for 4,000 years. They've invented everything. They invented paper, alcohol, gunpowder, rockets, noodles, kung fu, and TikTok. Yeah, and coronavirus. And hey, don't be racist. China. I loved it when Trump would say China. They also invent our phone. The craziest thing is they make our phones. That's supposed to be our enemy, and they make our phones. Do you know how dumb that is? We let the enemy make our phones. We can't make a phone. There's 330 million Americans, plus Mexicans, and no one can make a phone?
And they've canceled people that are more powerful than me. They canceled J.K. Rowling. My God, J.K. Rowling wrote all the Harry Potter books by herself. She sold so many books, the Bible worries about her. And they canceled her because she said in an interview, and this is not exactly what she said, but effectually, she said gender was a fact. And then the trans community got mad as shit. They started calling her a TERF. I didn't even know what the fuck that was. But I know that trans people make up words to win arguments. So I looked it up. TERF is an acronym. Stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminists. This is a real thing. This is a group of women that hate transgender. They don't hate transgender women, but they look at trans women the way we blacks might look at blackface. It offends them. Like, ooh, this bitch is doing an impression of me.
This time, the mother of the baby goes, "Shut up." And I was like, oh shit, like, we have a situation. But now, I wanted to be the hero and like save the movie. You know, I felt a tremendous sense of injustice, like all these movies are being ruined by babies, but I didn't realize I was too angry in that moment to, speak English words in a sentence. You know when you just get like real rage, like you just, dude, like you feel it, your throat dries out, and so I stood up in the theater with the best intentions, and I went, why? Because everybody's not in the adult movie. Like, none of it made sense. Everybody was like, who's that fucking guy? What's his problem?
I have a friend who works for the FBI. He pretends to be a 12-year-old girl. Goes on the internet and chats with child molesters all day. I don't know what he does for the FBI, but it's one of the...
I just don't want to be somebody who has kids before I'm ready to have them. I have a friend who told me in the next year she either wants to get a dog or have a baby. I'm like, if you think those are the same thing, you are not ready for either one. A dog or a baby? That's like saying, yeah, I'm either gonna get a skateboard or my pilot's license. It's whatever I have time for. It is insane to me how easy it is to have and keep a baby. Like, if you get your appendix removed, they won't let you take it home. But if you have a baby, they're just like, here, you drop this. And you know there are days at the hospital, nurses look at each other like, are we gonna let this happen? They both have neck tattoos. One says fuck, one says babies. Either way they stand, it's bad news. Really? This is fine. This is fine with you. What were you gonna name her? Big Red after your truck. Yeah, we gotta do something. If you want to adopt a kid, you have to jump through so many hoops, but if you just have one, they're like, that's yours forever. No questions asked? That's insane. There's no exit interview on the way out of the hospital to make sure you're okay. Just like, hey, before we hand you a baby forever, can you put this metal bowl in the microwave for me? Some of us not clapping, I encourage you to go home and try that. Nobody tell them.
Tough time for the blacks. These are not good times for the blacks. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, right? police are killing us again. Very unfortunate set of circumstances because we were doing very well. You know, America has a racial hot seat. I think we can all agree that that's the truth. And we can also agree that that hot seat is traditionally occupied by African Americans in general, African American men in particular. Although I can see that in recent years, that seat has been occupied by Mexicans and I dare say Arabs. And we, the black Americans, would like to thank you both for your sacrifice and your struggle. We needed a break. We needed a goddamn break. We all go through something, but at least I can leave my backpack someplace. If you Arab and forget your backpack, then you got about 20 minutes before they send that robot to blow your shit up. You can kiss all that engineering homework goodbye, Fuhad.
One of my next door neighbors is a 90-year-old man suffering from Alzheimer's. And every single morning at 9 a.m., he knocks on my door and he asks me if I have seen his wife. Which means that every single morning at 9 a.m., I have to explain to a 90-year-old man suffering from Alzheimer's that his wife has been dead for quite some time. Now, I have thought about moving. I have thought about just not answering my door in the morning. But to be honest, it's worth it just to see the smile on his face.